Almost at the halfway point of 260 minutes now. This is week number 24 at Comedy Monday Night. I've got kind of three big chunks that I'm pretty happy with, actually. I think there's beats in all of them that I certainly hope will work. I hope I have enough time, though, on this show to do them all. I might have to cut the third one and bump it to my next set on Thursday. Let's see how it goes. Very much. I'm going to start today by saying that I'm really glad Halloween is over. I'm kind of a Halloween Scrooge. I don't get it, I don't participate, I don't care. It's just dressing up, pretending to be something you're not. That's politics to me. I really don't give a shit at all. And also, the whole slutty costume thing doesn't do it for me either. Like, it does it for me, but there's way better slutty costumes. Because, like, in a bar, when everybody is slutty, nobody's slutty. Like, it shifts the bell curve of slutting it up a little bit. So if you normally hit on the slutty chick, you'd have to hit on the drunk slut. And if you normally hit on the drunk slut, you have to hit on the hooker, and that's just a negotiation. You don't have the wherewithal when you're drinking that much booze, really. So. Also, you don't know what guys are into. Like, not all guys like the same things. Like, yes, the maid and the sexy nurse are all well and good, but, like, I would be way more interested if you could dress up as, like, a lesbian Scarlett Johansson. Like, I'd whack off to that later for sure. Oh, better yet, if you could dress up as an uninterrupted nap, I'd hit on you. Like, really hard. Yeah, like, I'd flirt with you. Yeah. By the way, you can tell that I'm flirting with you if I'm trying to lower your expectations. That's like my move, you know? Just slowly disappointing people is the best way to go. It's like poison. You can build up an immunity to it if you spread it out over a longer amount of time. Like, I'm now immune to disappointment and iocane powder. That was way too generous, but thank you. I knew somebody would get it. I'm happy with that. So, the sexiest costume. If you could dress up as this, I would, oh my god. If you could dress up as a vacation where I don't have to take my cell phone, oh, I would roofie the shit out of you. I really would. That is so hot, I wouldn't even regret it later. I'd be like, oh yeah, you earned this, sexy bitch. No. I actually did, at one point in my life, pull like a scary prank around Halloween time. And I say at one point in my life because I've never done it again. Like, that's kind of how I live my life, is like a bucket list where I check it off and then I just never go back to it. There's like 3 things left and then death for me. And one of them is a really good nap, so I could roll that into death fairly simply. This was at a time, my family grew up, my parents grew up on a farm in Saskatchewan. 2 different farms, that would be really weird. Not unheard of, but weird. They were like 2,000 fence posts apart, and I don't know how to convert that into metric from farmer. But we go back there every now and again for harvest and stuff, and there's nothing to do there. Oh my god, as a kid at a farm, it is just the worst place, because everything's dangerous. There used to be stuff to do as a kid on a farm, but then they introduced child labor laws. Yeah, I can't drive a combine at 8. Who knew? Yeah. So just nothing to do. But one time I actually brought with me, actually this is another time. My mom was once on a phone back to a friend in Saskatchewan, and they were like talking about me and my brother. And this friend was like, oh, how did their baseball team do? And she's like, oh, they don't play baseball. She's like, oh, well, hockey season starts. And they're like, oh, they don't play hockey. And she just got her mind blown. She's like, what do they do? Stare at a wall? I have no idea. Because those are like the 3 options out there. You can play baseball, hockey, or drunk drive. And I wasn't 14 yet, so I had to wait for that third one. But anyways, we go out there and we actually take one year for fun. We take a walkie-talkie with us, and that is the closest I've ever felt, and I think I will ever feel, to being a time traveler. Taking a walkie-talkie into Saskatchewan in the mid-90s, oh my god, they looked at me like I was a god. They're like, oh, what else can you tell us? Who's the prime minister where you're from? Like, it was really weird. And because there was nothing to do, and we had this walkie-talkie, we, of course, we got evil, you know, idle hands are the devil's plaything. So there was this big box in the living room in my grandma's house that was empty. I'm assuming it was once filled with, like, activities or something. Games, anything. So we slip one of the walkie-talkies into this thing, and we go out to the cornfield, which you can see from the picture window, and we start making, like, spooky sounds for our younger cousins. We're like, ooh, look at the cornfield, and shaking the shit out of the corn, and then peeking out. We thought it was hilarious. The hardest part was taking our hand off the talk button so they wouldn't hear like a laughing ghost in the living room, which would have been ridiculous. But of course, we didn't think this through because our parents eventually outsmarted us, of course. Like, the kids just didn't keep this to themselves. So my dad ends up finding this thing. And my dad's technological level, I think, stopped at the walkie-talkie. Because he busted us with the walkie-talkie, but if I ever fucked with his computer, he'd have to get a new computer. Like, that's his technological level. Like, if I took a picture of his desktop and then like hid all his icons and used that as the background, he'd call me in a second and I'd laugh. So anyways, he hunts us down in the field and we're like laughing and like and talking into this thing. He sneaks up on us and just leaps out of the bushes and just goes wah! Like, just the loudest I've ever heard. I don't know if you've ever gone from hysterically laughing to hysterical fear before, but that transition is worthy of like all the Xanax. Like, just give it all to me. I'm manic now after this thing. It was unbelievable. And I learned this. Did you know it's not possible to poop and laugh at the same time? Yeah, I knew that because I was not laughing anymore. I'm trying to figure out like the closest like equivalent to that sort of transition, that like harsh transition. The best I can come up with is like going from laughter to fear is being tickled in a prison yard. Because that's bad, but then you know it's going to get worse. You just can't hold it back. I actually have 2 more punchlines for that, and I'm trying to figure out which one's the best. You're going to hear them all. Why do 3 shows when I can just do this one? Yeah. So it's actually like when your parachute doesn't deploy. No, out. And it's actually like when your friend falls off the dock and then doesn't resurface. All right, tickled in the prison yard is the way to go. All right. After all that, though, I was able to get my dad back. This is the best practical joke I've ever played. Oh my God. To get him back, I became a comedian. Yeah, I had potential and everything and shit. He did not see this one coming. That's my time. Thank you very, very much. I started dating younger girls, fetuses. What? They're people too. I saw that on a billboard once, and it was really gross. So I tend to... Well, I think that went pretty well for week number 24 of 260 Minutes. I actually didn't get to the last thing that I wanted to get to, something that I will bump to Thursday's set over at Yak Yaks, but I'm looking forward to that one too, because I think it's just as strong, so I feel confident going into that set. I actually talked to some comics, the 3 punchlines that I tried. Number 3 is the one that I think I'll go with next time, and see how it goes when I just do that. Obviously, for this set, that's a gambit I wouldn't normally use, but in the future I'll just go with one of them and see which one works best.